This entire window has been blown completely off, the sash and everything, multiple screens out, and then follow me right over here, and we've got actually an entire house right here that has been reduced to just smoldering rubble. You take a look here behind me, you can see just how muddy this ditch is here on the north side of Lorena. Now, police say they put down spike strips, and he actually managed to swerve around them and ended up here in the ditch. It's all the pictures and videos without all of this boring writing to scroll down through.
The storage units do have security cameras. In fact, 8 of them. The problem is they don't cover the backside of the building.
If you look right over here, that used to be a glass door. It's completely blown out. It is now an open window. People inside, workers, are cleaning up right now, trying to get this place back to normal, mopping up some of the water that's been coming down through the roof. And like I said, that wind damage blew off significant portions of the roof here at the Hobby Lobby. If you need a little bit more proof, here's some bricks from the building laying right here on the sidewalk.
KCEN HD News reporter Chris Davis joins us now live in Bruceville Eddy. And Chris, it's the same scene everywhere.
Yeah, just ice, ice, and more ice, Doug. And this is the kind of thing you find anywhere you go outside, a pretty thick layer of ice covering every single surface that it can find. Usually the only icicles in central Texas have lights on them. Today, these are actual icicles. Road crews spread sand on bridges and overpasses to keep people from sliding. On 190 in Killeen this morning, they were still treacherous enough to cause a few accidents. No serious injuries were reported. By mid-morning, major roads had pretty much thawed.
It's mainly just like decks and steps, stuff like that, really.
Plus windshields, playgrounds, even flags frozen in mid-wave.
Power went out about 9 o'clock.
Encore worked for a few hours to get power back to about 3,000 homes near Belton and Jarrell. It was back on by about noon.
That's actually pretty quick. I give them props on that. They were real quick responding to it. There was trucks all over the place out here.
Meanwhile, schools across the area let out early. Lorena parents lined up in a light snow to get their kids about an hour early.
What are you going to do? It's Texas. The weather's like this at least once every 3 years.
Some wondered about the decision to hold school at all today.
It was rough from the get-go.
Spokespersons for Belton and Killeen ISDs say they based that decision on road conditions. They say it simply wasn't that bad this morning. They'll reassess as the temperature drops again tonight and drivers face potentially frozen roads in the morning. Now, driving around today and then this evening, the roads actually look pretty good. There's not a whole lot of ice out there. You can actually see even the side roads back here in Bruceville Eddy are just kind of wet at this point. Now, that's not to say that there aren't going to be slick spots, so do be careful out there. And there is a lot of moisture, so as that temperature drops, this has the potential to refreeze. And some districts have already announced cancellations or delayed starts tomorrow, so you can check all of those on our website at kcentv.com. A challenge.
Whenever you're cold,
Think
it's just nice.
a warm thought.
We have time?
On a brisk day,
I'm from New York. It's not that cold.
it can be
Is it warming you up? Is it working?
all you need.
I'm not cold anymore, yeah.
We might not get much,
I enjoy the cold up until just about now.
but cold is cold.
It always reminds me of fall and winter, sitting by the fire and drinking something that tastes like fall apples.
Everyone has his own,
Memories and good times and all that, and just happy stuff.
or her own,
This is my favorite sweater.
insulating idea.
And it just makes me think of hanging out with sheep and some lavender moor and heathers and lots of pretty things and happy things.
Physical
I got a cappuccino. It's really good.
or
How's that look?
a little more abstract.
She drove in from Houston. I drove in from Dallas. Yeah, chilly day. Warm company, huh?
With temperatures dipping with the sun,
That's kind of a not warm thing.
it's the thought
I'm breaking your chalk over here.
that counts. With photojournalist Brian Wendland,
If it's gonna be cold, I'd rather it snow.
Chris Davis, KCEN HD News. When something goes missing, you search for it,
Oh, you're down there? Okay.
even if it takes you deep into the woods of Salado. It was the search that brought Ed Catheriner out. He's looking
Anyone seen Izzy?
for Izzy.
We just heard someone holler for Izzy's name, so we're cutting through the woods here.
Izzy ran off on Wednesday, or rather, hopped off. See, Izzy is a kangaroo.
Izzy is as sweet as can be.
Louise Whitaker fosters several of the animals for a wildlife park, but Izzy is hers.
Very heartbreaking because it seems like Mom was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I'm hoping to get back. I miss her too.
A tip takes Whitaker to Salado High School.
She was spotted here at 12 o'clock.
A mother's intuition brings her back to the woods.
I am looking for a kangaroo.
At least a half dozen neighbors and friends comb through the brush, searching for Izzy.
All right.
Then, just before the sun disappears completely,
It's up here. Okay. Guys.
Izzy.
She's fighting so hard. She's afraid.
It's been a long ordeal, stressful
She's just really afraid.
for both Kangaroo and Mamaroo.
Thank you guys for all your help.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
The search is over.
I'm so happy. I really am. You guys, it would just so just last for words. I really do appreciate all you guys have done.
The sun will rise tomorrow on a family reunited. Robots don't decide where to go. They don't choose how to move their arms or what to pick up. They don't connect their own circuits. Robots need direction.
Yeah.
13-year-old Colleen Goggin sits behind the controls to provide it.
People say that girls can't be engineers and they can't do anything guys can do.
People are often wrong. The metallic clouds and their robot bolts prove it.
We're a team of 6 to 7 girls building a robot in 6 weeks.
Waco's all-girl robotics team is one of just 5 teams across the country sponsored by the Girl Scouts.
It's really hard getting girls into robotics just because girls think it's like, ooh, it's a boys' sport, but it's not.
Besides this year's task of stacking boxes and recycling bins, there's a broader vision behind these safety glasses.
Girls just need to get into this. Like, they need to look past the whole stereotype thing and just go, this is really cool.
Women represent less than 1/3 of all workers in science and technology fields, and less than 1/7 of all engineers.
Girls can do the same thing, so they don't really have to have that hindering them. They just need to know that that's what they like to do and that's what they should do.
Everyone on the team has a job, a role to play in setting Bolt's course.
It's a circuit breaker like in a house, only smaller.
The wiring is 14-year-old Emma's handiwork.
It was absolutely incredible to know that that was something that I did, and it actually works.
See, you're learning things. When people say you can't do it, just do it. So that way you can go back later and say, saying, I did it. Now what do you want to tell me I can't do now so I can go do it now?
We can totally do this, girls, honestly.
The metallic clouds give their robot direction.
Good on this side.
And get a little of their own in return. 34 rows of boots.
That is a big boot.
Each one flying its own flag. And each one
just
with a name.
Just so much loss.
And a picture.
No, I feel for the families.
Alan Scarlett, a veteran himself, is here to pay his respects.
You hear about it, and then when you see it, you just don't. Then you put it together, just like, wow.
It's hard to put into words.
You look down, you see the wife and the children, and, you know, their daddy is gone, or their mommy's gone.
7,000 boots, each with its own story.
This is all his battle buddies.
It's an idea Teresa Johnson brought back from Hawaii.
So there we go.
Her way.
That's James Patton.
To remember every sacrifice, one she hopes her kids won't have to make.
His first deployment was 2012 when I started it. And I always thought, you know, could be me. Never say it can't be, because it can be.
It's the first year Johnson has put boots out at Fort Hood. Volunteers set it up here over the weekend. And yesterday, to honor the 5-year anniversary of the attacks here on post, Teresa came out and added balloons to the boots of all of those victims. She plans to bring the memorial back every year, and not just to honor those who served.
Brings tears to my eyes.
But as a sobering reminder.
It's a person who lived and breathed and had a family, and people who loved them.
People.
This is it.
Who will always remember them.
This is what our men and women of our armed forces do.
And the sacrifice they made. Chris Davis, KCEN HD News.